Welcome to the W-IKE News Show. I'm Kendra Danielson.
And I'm Olivia Wallace, and we're here with your afternoon announcements.
Stay updated on the latest school news by reading our online newspaper, The Squire, at www.squirenews.com.
You can scan the QR codes around the school to access it. Also, follow The Squire on social media at EHS Squire on Instagram. Attention all students.
All teachers are awarding PBIS points for positive behavior.
Check the app through ClassLink to see how many points you've earned and make a purchase. The EMHS yearbook, The Lance, is sponsoring a raffle for a free yearbook. Enter today.
Tutoring is available after school every Monday and Thursday in Mrs. Ludwig's room.
EHS prom will be on May 18th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Ivory Acres in Frewsburg, New York. Tickets will be sold during B and C lunches starting April 29th. The cost is $40 a couple and $25 for an individual.
Yesterday was a total solar eclipse, and Warren County was lucky enough to be in the prime viewing area. Did you watch the solar eclipse?
Yeah, it was amazing. Once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Special thanks to the community member who donated glasses so that all Warren County School District students could enjoy the eclipse on their day off.
News from Guidance Office. Seniors, as the year progresses, scholarships will be available in the Guidance Office. Be sure to allow enough time for transcript requests and paperwork in order to meet deadlines.
The Penn State Barron field trip will take place on April 25th. This trip is for juniors and sophomores. Anyone interested in the trip can sign up in the Guidance Office.
Now on to EHSPN.
Welcome to EHSPN. I'm Chris Bunk.
And I'm Drew Mandeville.
We're here with Abe Wolf, an Eisenhower student who plays tennis for the Warren Dragons. With spring sports underway, teams are practicing competing when they can, and even with the unpredictable weather.
Be sure to pay attention to announcements and schedule changes for spring sports.
Due to the weather, Abe, how has the tennis team been preparing for the season given all the rescheduling?
We've been playing, we're a team that plays year-round pretty much. I mean, we typically practice through the summer at Betts. In the fall and the winter, we're up at Lakewood and their YMCA playing on their tennis courts. So the beginning of our season's typically always the first 2 weeks, we're at Lakewood, we're playing indoors. And that's just because we can get the court time and because obviously the weather's unpredictable. And playing indoors, it has an advantage and it has a disadvantage. One thing, at least we can play tennis, but indoor tennis is a lot different from outdoor tennis. So anytime that we can get outside and play at Betts, that's a huge win for us.
And how does the indoor tennis compare and contrast to the outdoor tennis?
So a lot of courts, there's not any wind blockage or anything, so you're dealing with a lot of wind. You're dealing with elements like I said before, the wind will always carry the ball a little bit, especially if it's a stronger wind, so you need to be more strategic of where you place your shots. And colder weather, typically it reduces the bounce of the ball a lot more, so you have to really adjust your timing when you hit your shot, and it all just comes down to that, yeah.
What are the goals for the Dragons this year for tennis?
So my first 3 years of tennis, we've always been very set on D10 team playoffs. That has always been a goal for us, and we always end up making semifinals, maybe even the finals like we did last year. But this year, we're kind of in an awkward position where we're not as strong as what we used to be, and two of the bigger teams in our region, Greenville and Hickory, they kept all of their starting players, so we're at a very competitive level with both of them. So our focus has readjusted to the region, so we can focus on being 4-time region champions consecutively versus just focusing on playing Cathedral Prep and Fairview in the D10 playoffs.
All right.
With Region Player of the Year Logan Fincher and Eisenhower grad last year leaving, who has to step up and how will they step up to fill that role?
So, I mean, myself, I have to step up because I was the next in line to become #1 in singles, and that's where I'm playing this year. So you have to deal with a lot of the players who are very talented, and it's a very tough place to be. We have our #2 singles guy, Adam Strandberg. He's a junior, and he's always stepped up to the plate when he was needed, and he's going to be very key this year. And also, both of our doubles teams, while we're uncertain of what they're going to look like, who's going to be playing in which pairing, it's going to come down to them because they're the backbone of our team. If we can secure 2 doubles wins in a match, that's huge because we just need 1 singles win to take the whole thing. So, yeah.
All right.
You can ask the
Okay.
co-op one.
Tennis is a co-op between the county schools, so how'd you get involved with that?
So I always took an interest like during middle school in tennis, and my parents kind of pushed me to like maybe give it a try. And Luke Smelko, who was a senior in my freshman year of soccer, he told me that I should give tennis a try. And I also happened to have Mr. Myler. He was very helpful in that process, and I got to know him a little better, and he helped me get started practicing with them in Lakewood. And then when the season started, I got to practice with them up there. So that's just how I basically got involved. Just a few key people, yeah.
All right.
So say a person like me wants to join the tennis team all of a sudden. What do I do?
So you should typically get in contact with Mr. White. He's the athletic director down at Warren. Luckily, I mean, I didn't have to do that because I had Mr. Myler and I had Luke Smelko, but typically that's the first step. Our coach, Tom Pellegrino, he's a great guy to get to know, and he'll definitely help you get involved, get ready for a season, and just let you enjoy the season, because honestly, tennis is a really fun sport, and it's more of a team sport than people recognize. It's about keeping everybody's morals up and making sure that everybody's positive going into every match, even the singles guys.
One thing I've wanted to know is, how is pickleball different from tennis? 'Cause I'm an avid pickleball player.
That's a valid question.
Yeah, that's a fair question. So pickleball, I like to think of it as kind of a mix between ping pong and tennis. It's a pickleball court's about a little over half the size of a court of a tennis court, and they're gonna have to cut this part because I actually really need to think about this. So obviously, pickleball's typically played in doubles pairings, and the scoring is like ping pong. You play to 11, and you serve every time you score, pretty much. But it's like tennis in the strategy where you have doubles pairings who you typically have one guy at the net, one guy back, or you have two guys up front blocking any passing lanes that your opponent might have to get by you. So it's a good mashup. And also the paddles, of course, are a lot smaller than a tennis racket, but also bigger than a ping pong paddle. So it's very different.
So the way I look at it is, it's a mix of tennis, ping pong, and even badminton.
Even a little badminton.
Yeah.
But the net's a lot lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Abe, for giving us the insight on the tennis season and a little bit of pickleball knowledge. Be sure to come out and support our spring athletes. And now back to our anchors.
Welcome to a special segment of the W-IKE News Show. I'm Drew Mandeville, and I'm here with motivational speaker Shamil Gary. So what got you into football, and what was the path to the NFL like?
What got me into football was my dad. He actually forced me to play football. I didn't play too many sports. I played football, baseball, and track, and then football turned into my main sport because, one, basketball, I was afraid of the crowd being too close to me, right? Track, my coach made me run the 400, the 800. Yeah, it's not my thing, right? So I turned into a football player, and my journey was an up and down journey. Was the man in elementary, middle school, underdog, high school, underdog. Almost went to the Army my senior year and decided not to do that. Got a scholarship to the University of Wyoming, and then turned into a freshman All-American, was on a video game. We don't get NIL deals now. Right. I didn't get paid. I had to turn down a lot of free lunches and free gear, you know what I mean? But freshman All-American, transferred to Oklahoma State, walked on, paid for school for a year, got a scholarship, started 2 years at Oklahoma State, and then went to the NFL. But, that's kind of like a brief synopsis of my journey. There was a lot of ups and downs. Grandma passed away in the middle of it. Had news articles telling me I should have went back to Wyoming, should have never transferred. I sold plasma, worked a job at Lowe's just to make $5,000 to get to a track coach in Dallas, because I truly believe if you want something, you'll make a way. If you don't want something, you'll make excuses. Right. You know what I'm saying? So did all that and made it to the NFL and played a short time for the Dolphins, Patriots, Bills, Bears, and Vikings for a week, right? It counts. They paid me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What inspired you to become a motivational speaker?
I don't know. One day, I was eating Fruit Loops and Cheerios after I was done playing football, and I realized, man, I really love talking to people. I had so many people speak life to me, and I say speak life because, there's life and death in our tongue, right? So we can either speak life in our lives, or we speak death, right? And so I just want to be able to speak life to, all the beautiful people out there in the world.
All right. What does your routine look like, and how do you bring positivity to your day?
What's my routine? It depends on the season, right?
Right.
If I'm honed in and I'm locked into my habits, I wake up early around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Take a shower, take a walk, think about what I'm grateful for. Then I go do jujitsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I choke people out. Right. That's my thing. You know what I mean? And after I do jujitsu, come home, take my kids to school or my daughter to school, and then pray. Then I get to work. And then at the end of the day, I'd have like a night routine just to kind of like recap the day. What did I do well? What did I do bad? What can I improve on? So I can go into the next day, doing better. Right? Because we're in competition, not with people, but competition with ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for young student athletes?
Young student athletes, actually do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
Be disciplined. Don't lie to yourself. If you say you want a D1 scholarship, actually put the work in. There's a lot of people who say, I want to be D1, but what does it take to be D1? That means sacrifice. That means getting up early. That means, not doing what everyone else is doing. A lot of people talk, but not a lot of people do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to separate yourself, and you have to block out the noise. And so I say this with a little bit more emphasis and urgency because, we all have limitless potential, but we have limited time.
Right.
So at some point in time, your opportunity is going to close, and you're going to look back and be like, I wish I could have did this, but it's done. So stop talking and do more.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and inspire the students here at Eisenhower. Yeah. Now back to the anchors.
Now on to EHS Cribs.
All right, welcome to EHS Cribs. Today we're outside a very noticeable door. It's Miss Laudell's room, so let's see what she has in her crib.
Hi.
Welcome to EHS Cribs. Your room has been segmented for this week.
Yay, come on in.
All right, what's up, Miss Laudell? Welcome to EHS Cribs. Just real quick, show us some cool things around your room that really stick out.
Okay, we have a Star Barista in my class that students earn every other week. And they get coffee, they get on the wall, they got an email sent to Mrs. Beers and Mrs. Oliva, and a certificate. That's Star Barista. Come this way. Alright, back here is like the reading corner. It's kind of messy at the moment, but students can sit back here when they're reading. We obviously have alternate lighting because who likes bright lights? Nobody. This is the coffee bar. Students earn them by filling up their punch cards that are over there. When they fill up their punch card, their name goes on the board and we have Coffee Fridays. They get to pick, I always keep like several Starbucks creamers in here. And then they can pick their syrups, hot or iced coffee. And then if you don't like coffee, I also have like water packets and syrups to get flavored water.
All right, what made you choose a coffee bar theme for your room?
Because I love coffee. And who doesn't, really?
You just said there's some people who don't like coffee.
They're wrong. They're wrong.
What do you think is your favorite, the student's favorite part of your room?
The coffee. Probably, right? Your keyboard. Everyone loves my keyboard, and then I got one of the fun, well, actually they sent me one of the fun, crisscross chairs, because you can sit like this while you're working.
Now, someone who's 6'4" like myself, I probably couldn't fit in that. This is Chris Punk Cribs now. Go back to Miss Loveton's Cribs, because I can't sit crisscross applesauce.
Fine. Oh, I have a doorbell. Wait, you got to the doorbell. This is my favorite part. I'm so excited. Oh, and my Harry Potter shirt. That's fine. Okay, so, wait, do you want to be inside or outside for the doorbell?
Probably outside if it's out.
Okay, wait, ring the doorbell.
Oh, wait, where is it? Oh, I see it now, okay. Okay.
Wait, couldn't hear it. But hi, welcome.
That's all for your afternoon announcements. Have a great day and stay classy, Eisenhower.
I'll ask a good question. What did Logan win? District Player of the Year or Region Player?
No, he's region player, yeah.
Right.